Good morning, Ichigo, and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is Griever. We're Bleach, episode 15 review. Now, this is where the episode really kicks off. This is actually what I really like. We start to get the feels for character. We get the feels for character development even. It hasn't really been showcased too much up to this point. But remember, Rukia has been here for a number of weeks, maybe even months at this point. It's really hard to say. I'm not sure of the exact timeline, but she's been there long enough that the classmates are starting to, know her by name and that kind of idea, and they started inviting her to lunch. Like, Orihime knows her. Oh, hi, Rukia. And, of course, we know why Orihime and Chad are able to know everything that's kind of going on, after Kisuke showcase them, here's what's happening, and they retain their memories. Orihime retained her memories about her brother incident and everything since, episode 3. But suffice it to say, it's now that she's kind of being welcomed in. Oh, look, here are my friends. You should come eat with us. Why don't you come and eat with us? You're always hanging around with Ichigo and stuff, but you don't eat lunch. When do you come eat with us sort of idea? And the thing is that we get her inner monologue, and we see it's mostly, I like that it's not too dialogue heavy. We just see it in her expression. We hear her thinking a couple of sentences, and that's it. She doesn't go on this huge, big tirade about everything that we're not supposed to really know yet and that kind of deal. But we do get the fact that she realizes that she likes being here. She's getting too used to being here, and this is a problem because cutting it off is going to be even more difficult for her. And that's kind of sad because she's finally being more accepted. She has more friends now. Orihime and Tatsuki aside, there's a group of girls and they're ready to accept her. They're chatting with her. They're talking with her. They're chatting about Ichigo, and they think Rukia is likes Ichigo and all that stuff. But for the Rukia Ichigo shippers, like Tekking, it's probably a great episode for people. That being said, though, it's really kind of sad because she also wants to stay. We get this side story with Cone, right? We get the whole, and he's being a pervert and all that fun jazz, but we get this side story with Cone where he wants to run away because he's being mistreated by Yuzu and all that stuff, and being made to look like a girl plushie and stuff, and he's a guy, and he's supposed to be a lion and rawr and all that stuff. I was supposed to be a lion, heart of a lion. And the thing is that during this entire thing, I just thought it was kind of, okay, this is just the side pitch. This is just to get us through the episode so we can get to the main thing, which is episode 16. Episode 16 is where shit really starts to go down. And I was like, all right, I understand. They're just filling up a little bit of time here, it seems. But it all becomes relevant. And I really like that because I didn't expect that. Cone's little journey, I did not expect to become relevant in the way it did with Rukia's development. That's why I bring it up here. Because it doesn't really have much to do with anything. In fact, when he's there looking for Orihime and they're playing Bocker, baseball plus soccer, I always called it soccer-baseball or kickball, but though kickball doesn't have the actual bat, you use your foot instead of a bat, so it's not really kickball. But I remember it being called soccer-baseball, but okay, Bocker, I guess is what it's called here. That's fine, whatever, never heard that before. And during this entire exchange with Cone going on this episodic journey, once Rukia realizes, this is nice, but it can't last, and all that such, she runs over to find Ichigo. And we're seeing her in a lot of silent moments, just pondering and thinking, and we don't hear the dialogue in her head, which is, as I said, really nice. And that's when she runs up to Ichigo, and she kind of wants to tell him, I'm just checking if you're okay. He's like, Rukia, is everything okay? Ichigo, this is what I like about Ichigo. Once again, I said this back in episode review 1 and 2. Ichigo is a different type of shonen protagonist. He's not a moron. He's not an idiot. He can read the room, so to speak. And that is very rare in a shonen protagonist. Someone who can pick up on subtle cues. Not all the time. But he picked up on a cue right here. He didn't just go, oh, well, why are you being so weird and stuff? He's just like, Rukia, actually, you've been acting kind of weird today. Are you all right? He picks up on that. Now, I can't see most shonen protagonists picking up on that. And that doesn't mean they're bad protagonists. That just means Ichigo is just, he's got a different swag to him. He's got a different type of personality, a different type of character from the standard, if you're going to draw, okay, here's what you do in shonen, here's what you do in seinen, here's what you do here, the tropes, here's what you do in shoujo. This is a nice kind of just, let's take that perfect vertical and let's just tilt it. Let's just tilt it a little bit. And let's see where we can go with this, right? And that's what I like, because he says, hey, Rukia, are you okay? You've been acting kind of strange today, sort of idea. And that's where Cone comes up, and they don't even know he ran away and all that stuff, and that's supposed to be funny. But then he says, I don't want to leave your bedroom anymore. I don't want to leave you. I'll never leave you again. That's where I want to be. And we see Rukia, and of course Cone is hugging Rukia's chest and everything, because he's still a pervert. But then we see Rukia kind of looking down and thinking thoughtful, and basically that is what she wants to say. She doesn't want to leave. She knows she's on borrowed time, on limited time. She knows she's committed a crime. She remembers at some point in this episode when she's in the tree about the filler character, the filler Shinigami, that said, Soul Society is going to find out eventually. And with the appearance of the Menos Grande, I like, everything connects back. The appearance of a Menos Grande is no small thing to happen in the human world, and the Soul Society is clearly aware of it. That makes total sense. And since they didn't send anybody in to deal with it, they got to start asking questions. So I really like how everything unfolds. It all flows properly in a good storytelling way, and culminating here in Rukia basically just realizing that's what she wants to say to Ichigo. She's on borrowed time, but she doesn't want to leave. She wants to stay. She wants to stay. She's enjoying her friends. She likes the people in her school. She likes her classmates. She likes being a partner with Ichigo, battling hollows and living with him and all that stuff, with the family and everything. She's been enjoying it a little too much, and that's where the problem lies. It's actually really sad, because this whole episode is basically a downer in that way. We do have Ichigo invite Uryu to lunch, and he originally refuses, but Keigo's buying. Oh, well, if you insist. And all that stuff, right? So we get a dynamic between them. They're being at odds, but they're okay. We also get the introduction, of course, of Yoroichi in her cat form. She does speak in this episode, and yes, it's a she, spoilers. And she's there, Urahara, all that stuff. That's the man's best friend, apparently, is a cat. And all that such. And we do get the introduction of her, and they've arrived. Like, all right, and Urahara being his usual idiotic self. There's a lot going down here. Here's where the setup starts. This is where Yoroichi's introduced. This is where we have, at the end of the episode, we get Renji for, I think, the only time he ever used those reader shades, because after this, he replaces it with a bandana on the side sort of idea. And he never goes back to the goggle glasses things. So the NASCAR style glasses, like from the 80s, he never goes back to that, the safety glasses. And so this is I think the only time we actually see him actually wear them. And then he puts them on his head, and I don't think we ever see it after this. I could be wrong. Could be a filler episode. He could use them again, or he could use them next episode, but I don't remember him ever using them after this point. So rare sight there. We know that Rukia has run away and left a note, and now Byakuya and Renji are here at the end of the episode tracking her. So this was a really good episode, because it brings us into, now the story has started. Now we're not just, okay, day of the week Hollow, day of the week Monster, fighting the bad guys, winning at the end of the day, saving the kids, saving the soul, saving this, helping people. Now we're into an actual arc. Now we're past the cartoon 6+ episodic sort of Power Rangers episodes, and now we're into the actual, all right, we have an overall arc. We have an overall story arc happening. We have all our setup done. 15 episodes in, the setup is complete. Here's our cast. We have Uryu the Quincy. We have Orihime and Chad awakening random ass powers. We have Ichigo coming into his own as a Shinigami, and we have Rukia. Now, and we've already met Urahara and his group and everything. So we have all the setup. And now it's time to start the story. So Soul Society arc inbound. I believe the Shinigami arc officially ends after the end of the next episode. It's episodes 1 to 16. I could be wrong about that. This could be considered the end, whereas the next episode is the start. That would be kind of odd. I would like to think that episode 16 is the end of the Shinigami arc, because it's where we kind of kick off everything else that happens. I don't know what the actual official Viz or Shonen Jump or whoever decided where the arcs began and ended in the episodic way, the chapters being beside. But either way, this is where we are starting off with the best arc, one of the best arcs of all time in Shonen, the Soul Society arc of Bleach. So I'm really pumped. Hope you guys are too. Hope you like the new layout. I changed up the office a little bit, changed up the computer room here, and I updated OBS and stuff, so hopefully the video quality is a little better. I was playing around with the settings. If it's too dark, if it's too bright, if you can finally see my face and you realize, he's not that good looking, well, sorry ladies, I can't do anything about that. Anyways, that being said, hope you guys enjoyed. Like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you back here for episode 16. See you next time.